All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 135-pound division where Gervonta Tank Davis has sharp words for Devin the Dream Haney and pretty much calls him a nobody and says, I'm the champ. Not so much. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where Gervonta Tank Davis has said something about Devin Haney and the 135-pound division, which I have to say I disagree with, but at the same time really does bring up a troublesome point about the sport of boxing at the same time. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your continued support and watching the videos and comment in the comment section. Thank you guys. And in the live streams we do Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you. And also thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks in videos like this, where you have the dollar and the heart sign in the lower right hand corner. If you want to support the channel, that is really the best way to do it in this particular video. But if you can't do that, hey man, make sure you hit the like button and share the video. But let's get into this because, you know, this is something that is a very interesting topic in boxing. And I don't think that there's any better example of this problem that we have that there is in boxing than this Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney situation. Now, first, let me give you a little bit of background. Devin Haney is the undisputed lightweight champion. He has the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO belts, right? So he is most definitely the champion in the lightweight division. And so when Gervonta Davis, who is the WBA regular champion, says that he is the champion in the division, I do not agree with that. However, what he is trying to communicate, I think, is something that is a little bit different and something where we run into problems. Because he says, look, he has all the belts, and essentially, but nobody knows him. And I have all the fans and people are watching me. And so Devin, those guys know who the champion is, right? Now, what does that mean? Well, you have a situation where you have 4 belts in boxing, right? 4 major titles: the WBA Super, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. You also have the idea that, you know, we are involved, or that the boxers are in something called prize fighting, right? So if you are the guy that has the sanctioned and bodies belts versus the guy that has all of the fans interested and the people, and really the one that is making the big fights, and the guy that everybody is trying to fight, you know, what one thing trumps the other, right? So I asked a question in my live stream, and I said, well, you know, who do you think a fighter would rather be? Would they rather be in Devin Haney's situation of having all 4 belts, or would they rather be in the situation of Gervonta of selling out multiple arenas, setting records for attendance in big gates, doing pay-per-views that are, you know, that are successful? You know, in reality, they're obviously successful. Now, what people are saying on YouTube and what they're saying on Twitter and the way that they frame those may be different, but there's some reason that Gervonta Davis keeps doing them, and he seems to be real happy with his money. So I don't agree with the idea that Devin Haney is not the lightweight champion, because he holds all 4 major championship belts, right? Also, I do understand, however, what Gervonta Davis is saying, which is essentially, I'm the man. You may be the champion, but I'm the man. And I'm the man because I'm the one everybody wants to see fight. Now, some people may say, well, who are they fighting? Right? Obviously, Devin Haney, because he's got 4 championship belts and Gervonta Davis has a secondary belt, obviously Devin Haney is fighting the better competition and that's how he got these belts. But that's not true. The best competition is really dependent upon, not upon what belt you fight for, but it really depends upon what promotional company or what network you're fighting on, because all of the belts that are out there in the lightweight division all really rest at Top Rank, with the exception of the one belt that Gervonta Davis has, which is a WBA regular, and not coincidentally, also the original belt for the WBA. It's the belt that every lightweight has had since the early 1960s. I mean, up until a few years ago. And even the WBA Super Championship since it really kind of came about, and I do believe that was sometime in the 90s. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but even that was very sporadic that somebody actually had that title. It was very similar to the way that they did the WBC did the franchise championship, where there were only a couple fighters that had that super title, and the WBA regular was really the champion. So which one is it? Is it the guy that has the belts, even though we now know, we definitely know that, certain promoters, specifically Bob Arum, really do schedule fights and position themselves with the sanctioning bodies so that their fighters are always the one fighting for those belts, which is why you get a bunch of championship fights, including Jose Pedraza and Ray Beltran and Richard Comey, right? Those guys are the ones that are constantly fighting for those belts. Same way that Eddie Hearn had for a little while, had control over 3 of the 4 belts in the heavyweight division, and kept having fights between Dillian White and Alex and Povetkin and Billy Joe. What's his guy's name? The New Zealand fighter Joseph Parker, and all of those guys, Carlos Takam and Derek Chisora. They always wind up fighting each other. Well, not just Derek Chisora. I think Derek Chisora may have been out of that loop a little bit, but kind of in there, where they just keep fighting each other. But the WBC, which was controlled by the PBC, kept having that guy fighting fighters from the PBC. So, I mean, the truth of the matter is that, as people commonly recognize the undisputed champion in the division to be the champion, that's most definitely Gervonta Davis, with Devin Haney. But when people talk about really who the man in the division is, who's the one that is really driving the most interest and having the fans really want to see him, also putting on big events that people want to see in good competition, I would say that the as far as the money and generating fan interest, that's clearly Gervonta Davis, but also who is actually fighting the best competition as a fighter. It leans a little bit towards Gervonta Davis as well, because of what he's done at 130 and 135 and 147, and the fact that Devin Haney really has not beaten anybody that I would consider really to be an exceptional fighter at the time that he fought him. Because I don't think very much of George Kambosos, and I think really Lomachenko did most of the collecting of those belts to consolidate him, and then he just kind of got him. He got them because Lomachenko didn't fight George Kambosos, but George Kambosos was really like a flash in the pan that got that belt off of another flash in the pan. So at the end of the day, nobody's going to really know until guys like specifically Gervonta, Shakur, and Devin find out who the best fighter in the division is. Because I don't think that particular topic at all is settled. It's not settled at all. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.